hello again. I'm going to take a moment to tell you how to navigate this course, how to be successful, where to find things, and lots of information here. You will probably want to write things down. You will want to reference things from this video. The number one reason that students struggle in this class is by simply not utilizing the resources, not following directions. And so I'm going to be going over a lot of that in this video. So make sure that you watch this in its entirety and pay attention. Okay. So I'm at our home page here. Okay. So I'm at the welcome video. Make sure you watch that. Let's go down here and talk about the late work policy and the times that things are due. So everything is accepted at a 15% late work policy. That's 15% per day. That is firm. There are no exceptions. If you know you're going to have something come up, you can work ahead, but there are no exceptions on the late work, and I do not offer any bonus points, so we can go ahead and get that out of the way. You won't need them. So everything is due by noon, and you might go, oh gosh, it's not midnight. Well, this class is designed to teach you a lot more than just public speaking. You're going to get a lot out of this class, more than just speaking. And so time management is one of those things. And so if you are going to struggle with having it due by noon, then you can treat it as if it were due the night before at midnight. You don't have to wait until 11:30 a.m. or 11:50 a.m. and post it. I actually wouldn't advise you to do that. I wouldn't advise you to post your assignments at the last minute because things come up. Your video might not process. It might take a long time for your video to process. That's not uncommon. And if you wait until the last minute, then you risk your assignments being late. So everything is due by noon, Central Standard Time, but feel free to work ahead and get it in the day before, 2 days before, 3 days before. Feel free to navigate this course in a way that's going to set you up for success. And so you do what you need to do in that. So, and I'm very supportive if you need to get that in early. So I'm going to click on modules here. And so you guys are right here watching this video. Okay. Here is a discussion board. You don't have to. Most students don't. But if you have a question about the class, you can post here. So right here are a bunch of important FAQs. And so you need to go over those. So talking about, can you read your speeches? No, you cannot read your speeches. You only have one assignment in which you are required to have verbatim memorization, and that's the movie monologue. All of the others you're going to outline out and prepare for them, but you don't have to have verbatim memorization. You are allowed a note card. You are not allowed to bring your whole speech up there with you. You're not allowed to bring, when we get to them, your whole outline up there with you. You are definitely not allowed to read your phone and use your phone as a note card. Memorization is very important. How do you dress? I do not expect you to dress up, but don't dress down. So that means no hats, no oversized hoodies, no swimsuits because it's summer. Wear shoes. So you are part of your presentation. So just make sure that you are dressing for the occasion. Emails, I'll answer emails very quickly. It says 24 hours, but you'll get it way before 24 hours. I grade very quickly, sometimes instantaneously. Where can you film your speeches? Let's talk about that for a minute. You can film your speeches anywhere you want, as long as you have an appropriate camera shot. So meaning it needs to be quiet. The lights have to be on. If you have a crying baby, please do not have the crying baby or barking dogs in the room. Turn the TV off, radio off. Make sure if your friends are in the audience, that they aren't on their phones and that they're not, have a video playing. And so, make sure the lights are on so I can see you. Do not use a podium. You'll end up just hiding behind it. And so, but for the camera shot, I have to be able to see all of you. And so you are required to stand up. So when I said that sometimes students find themselves frustrated, and it's by simply not utilizing the resources, if you film your speech sitting down, then I'm going to ask you to redo it, or I won't be able to give you a grade for it because you are required to stand up when you give your speeches. And so, but I have to be able to see all of you. And so you'll stand up and you'll scoot back. I need to adjust my screen so my head's not cut off. And so you don't want your camera shot to be crooked, but this would be sufficient, if you can see my head. Okay, so I just can't back up any further. But you have to be able to you have to stand up, and I have to be able to see all of you. I don't want you like this, giving your speech, reading it on a computer screen. Okay, so an appropriate camera shot is required. And so for your audience, you have to have an audience of 4. They have to be 4 adults. High school students are fine, but if you have a 5-year-old little brother, I'm not saying they can't be in the room with you, but they will not count as an audience member. And so if you do not have an audience, you can look at the rubric and you can see the points that are assigned to having an audience. And B, you can always FaceTime in or Zoom in an audience, but you have to prove that they're live. So you can't just go, here's my audience, and show them. You don't have to introduce them. Please don't spend 45 seconds introducing your audience. But you have to prove that they're live. So you could just be like, and here's my mom and dad back home, say hi. Or however you want to do it, but you have to prove that your audience is live if you're doing it via an electronic device. But if you're sitting in a room wherever you're giving your speech, you'll just have your camera person scan the room to show that you have an audience. Your audience must be paying attention, so tell them that they have to be facing you and paying attention. Your audience doesn't have to be in the camera shot the whole time, but and you can see some of the examples in the class, but show your audience, okay, and then have them don't make sure their camera is straight up and down, and so we've covered how to film it. Your audience, you must use YouTube. You can't upload your video in like .mov. It is required to be on YouTube. So please don't let, before our first assignment's due, which is going to be a discussion, which is a video, which I talk about that in a lesson. But don't let the very first time you play around with YouTube be 5 minutes before an assignment is due. When you upload it to YouTube, you have to check your link, make sure it works. Don't send a broken link, so don't just post your link and then rock on. You post it and then check it to make sure it works. You will have to make sure that the settings are not set to private, or I won't be able to see them. You also are not able to use YouTube Shorts. They don't play correctly, and so that's another thing that you'll find yourself frustrated with, is if you submit your video as a short. I'm going to ask you to redo it. And so there's information in the announcements on how to do that. So you can simply, in the address bar, so like right here, let's see. Like right here in the address bar, you'll see, let's see if I can go to a YouTube short and show you.
Hi.
Okay, let me pause it here. Okay, so right here, you'll see, went away. Oh, there we go. You'll see the word shorts, okay? So if you just change it, to watch, now it is a regular YouTube video, okay? So make sure that you do not let your videos upload as a short, okay? You are required to meet time for your speeches, and that starts when you start your speech, not as you're scanning your audience. But if the speech is a 2-minute speech and you only speak for 45 seconds, then you have not completed even 50% of the assignment, and your grade will be adjusted accordingly, okay? So how to get a hold of me, the inbox right here, okay? Are points taken off for going under and over? Yes. Talks about audience, the late work, your ID verification, which I'll talk about in a minute. And then the other thing I want to make note of is in the submission comments. So let me show you here. I find this to be a little bit of a flaw in Canvas, but let's say that I'm going to grade you over your discussion over nerves, okay? And let's say that I'm here and I type, you'll see that I type right here in this box right here, and I hit submit and I leave you feedback. This is not a communication tool. When you respond back, I don't get any sort of alert that you've messaged me, and they disappear, and then I have to go in and find it somewhere and download it. And so this is not a communication device. So if you respond to me right here, then it's going to be clear that you're not paying attention to this kind of stuff, the resources. But just email me. So if I ask you something here, or if I tell you maybe your topic's not approved, or something of that nature, then just go to the email feature, the inbox feature, and email me about it. But do not use the submission comment box as a communication tool. Okay, so let me come back to our course. So you have to verify your identity. So the directions are in there. I'm not going to go over that here, but there's click on that. Every assignment I'm going to go over in depth. You just are going to have to take the time to go over it, but you're going to need to verify your identity first. Take this intro quiz, which is over basically everything I've talked about in this video, and the FAQ form, the homepage, syllabus, which you can see right here. Well, it's on the left-hand side right above, so it's modules, grades, and syllabus. But you can take that quiz as many times as you want to get 100. Don't settle for anything less than 100%. So then the last thing that I want to address here is right here, the module 1, module 2. You'll see all the modules, okay? So the module overview and to-do list. I will post a video lesson for every module. And so you are required to watch those. If you don't, then you probably are not going to be very happy with a potential outcome. For example, you might do your assignment incorrectly. You might post a topic that's on the list of topics you're not allowed to do. So you will need to, starting with module 1, you'll need to watch the overview video. Right here, I've even given some important reminders, so you need to make sure you go in here. It talks about YouTube Short, the submission comment, a lot of the things that I went over in this video, I remind you of many, many times in the course. And then you'll want to make sure that you click on resources. Okay, so you'll find the directions for the assignments there. And not only will you find the directions, but then I go over the directions in those module overview videos. Okay, so it's very consistent. Module 2, there's going to be a lesson over our assignments, and then there's going to be resources. And even in the assignment, the directions are embedded here, are talked about here as well. And so the directions for all of the assignments are all over the place. So make sure that you're carefully looking over all of them. So you'll see module 3, there's going to be a lesson, and then there's going to be resources. There's going to be directions, the do's and the don'ts. So make sure that you're utilizing all of those. There's information in the announcements. I'll post announcements. It talks about YouTube Shorts, the submission comments, the audience, some very important reminders, even things about assignments, about the moving monologue. So like I said, I give all the information you could possibly need. With that said, I don't ever want you to hesitate to reach out with any questions. I just ask that you look in the class first, because a lot of time the information you're looking for is going to be right there where you can print it, take a picture of it, screenshot it, and have all of the information that you need. Like I said, I think that you will end up liking this class more than you think. So the last thing that I want to say is stay on top of your work. Try not to get behind. Anything's better than a 0. Trust me on that. And you are not allowed to use any form of AI. And so you will find yourself highly frustrated with this class if you use AI for anything. That includes responses to your peers. Any form of AI will result in an automatic 0 in every aspect of the assignment. So even if you have Grammarly, on your computer, it's going to change your sentences and it's going to come back as AI, and you're going to get a 0 on the assignment. So no AI whatsoever for any assignment in this class. If you stay away from it, great. I do not care what a computer has to say. I care about your thoughts. We aren't doing any research in this class. Nothing is difficult. Nothing that you're going to have to write is challenging. Our discussions are first person. What do you think? So you do not need AI for that. So if you do all of these things in this video and have a good attitude, stay on top of things, you will end up liking this class and being very successful. And if you have any questions, let me know.